Here we go. This is an article from InTheLie.com. It says, nowhere to run. Drones, facial recognition, soft biometrics, and threat assessments. It is the stuff of science fiction. A drone flies hundreds of feet overhead, rapidly snapping images and collating them into a 3D model of your face, verifying your identity, recording your social interactions, and even creating threat assessments of yourself and those you associate with. So it's building a profile not only on you, but those people around you. So the drones, like I was giving a scenario earlier, the drones can actually fly in, zoom in into the, and look into your window in your house, and actually record play by play what's going on in your house, who's in your house, and what are you doing, what type of books you have on the table, everything. Unfortunately, this is not science fiction, right? This is real life. This ain't no movie. And the things that Esau shows you in his movies is the things that he actually has in development, if not in development, already has in production and creation in real life. Unfortunately, this is not science fiction. This is real technology being developed as you read this under several military contracts. Like you have a company called DARPA, which is a Defense Advancements of Research Preparedness Association, something like that. But it's a government agency that's devoted to creating military weapons and military technology to get a one-up on the other countries. All paid for by the American taxpayer, adding on to the black hole of debt, which continues to grow unabated thanks to unnecessary spending like this. I'm going to scroll down. If you are not a fan of the government or prefer to not have your privacy violated, you can bet technology like the Department of Homeland Security's Future Attribute Screening Technology, or FAST, will set off some alarms. And that's the same technology that they got instilled to these drones, into these CCTV cameras. This isn't really the right article, but it gave me some meat off of it. There we go. This is an article from Wired.com. And it says, Army Tracking Plan. Drones that can never forget a face. And this article was written in September 28, 2011. So this devil, he's been had this technology.
There's a reason why his name Noah. So there's a reason why his name is Noah.
Mm-hmm. I think my computer just froze. Satan messing with my computer again. Oh, there it goes. I should know a shot. It says, perhaps the idea of a spy drones already makes you nervous. Maybe you're uncomfortable with the notion of an unblinking robotic eye in the sky that can watch your every move. If so, you may want to click away now, because if the Army has its way, drones won't just be able to look at what you do, they'll be able to recognize your face and track you based on how you look. If the military machines assemble enough information, they might just be able to peer into your heart. The Pentagon has tried all sort of tricks to keep tabs on its foes as they move around. Tiny transmitters, lingering scents, even human thermal fingerprints. The military calls the effort tagging, tracking, and locating, or TTL. And as the strategy in places like Afghanistan has shifted from rebuilding societies to tracking out individual insurgents, TTL has become increasingly central to the American effort. Hundreds of millions of dollars have been devoted to it.
Right, and the reason why they use Afghanistan, because Afghanistan is one of the hardest places, because they've been bombed into the Stone Ages, so they don't have sufficient information on majority of their population no more. Mm-hmm. Because when America first came in and did Afghanistan carpet bombing, they carpet bombed all the police stations, the court buildings, and those things that had them sufficient records. And they actually saw the people out there going and redoing eye scan, retina scan, fingerprints, and so forth. And a lot of you soldiers who actually watch our channels too, y'all know exactly what we talking about.
Right.
So all that was live test, and that was in the harshest condition.
Yep.
It's always hot there.
All right. So
No light.
Yep. So it gives Esau leeway to tweak his technology more and more, and to make it better. Cause that's like the elder just said, in the hardest conditions imaginable. So if your technology can work over there, it can work anywhere.
Right, when don't nobody have a Facebook putting their pictures up and their kids up and their grandparents up, they have to collect all that data. Y'all here help the cause.
Yep. See, y'all Americans making this easier for this devil, man.
Right.
Like
Not those of us in the truth.
Yep. It says the current technologies have their limits. However, transmitters can be discovered and discarded since eventually wiped away. Even the tag can get lost in the crowd. But there are some things that can't be so easily discarded, like the shape of your face or the feelings you keep inside. That's why the Army just handed out a half-dozen contracts to firms to find faces from above, track targets, and even spot adversarial intent. So like the elders just saying, they're using, the other countries, the wars in the country like Afghanistan and Iraq to tweak their technology. And it just stated here in this article. If this works out, we have the ability to track people persistently across wide areas, says Tim Falkmeyer, the lead biometrics researcher at Progeny Systems Corporation, which recently won one of the Army contracts. A guy can go under a bridge or inside a house, but when he comes out, we'll know it was the same guy that went in. So, ain't gonna be no disguises. You ain't gonna be able to dress up like a woman and walk out your house and, oh, they lost you. No.
Right, because you still got that same walk. You still got that same round face.
Right.
Got that same attitude. Because if you was nervous before you went in, when you come out, you're going to be even more nervous.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have that same speedy walk.
You ain't gonna be sweating the same amount of bullets.
Right.
And this is actually they showed an actual picture or diagram of how the tripwire system works. What you see them, they're identifying this guy right here, taking this picture, then they're putting him in a thermal infrared screen, and they're tracking his heat levels.
Hmm.
You see down here, they're tracking his gait, the way he walks.
Okay.
Go down, it says the company is one of several firms that has developed algorithms for the military that use two-dimensional images to construct a 3D model of a face, like you see up here. It says, it's not an easy trick to pull off. Even with the proper lighting and even with a willing subject, building a model of someone on the run is harder. Constructing and a model using bobbing, weaving, flying. Constructing a model using bobbing, weaving, flying, relatively low resolution cameras on small unmanned aerial vehicles is tougher still. But it could be an enormous military value. This overcomes a basic limitation in the current TTO operations, where objects of interest only appear periodically from sheltered positions or crowds, the Army noted in its announcement of the project. Now, that's about it for this article. Oh, one more paragraph. Two more paragraphs. That's what Progeny claims it can do, taking an existing drone like the handheld Raven and turn it into a TTL machine. Any pose, any expression, any lighting, Falkmeyer says, Progeny needs an image with just 50 pixels between the target's eyes to build a 3D model of his face. 50 pixels? That's how many pixels, that's 5 times more pixels than you have in your cell phone now. An average iPhone has what? A 10 megapixel camera? So with 50 megapixels in a pinpoint second, you don't even have to look at the camera. You can just look away and your whole face will be reconstructed right there on the screen. It says That's absolutely the same as what it takes to traditionally capture a 2D image. Naturally, the model gets bigger and better the more pictures are taken during enrollment. Once the target is enrolled in Progeny system, it might only take 15 to 20 pixels to identify him again. A glance or two at the Raven's camera might conceivably be enough. And if the system can't get a good enough look at the target's face, Progeny has other ways of IDing its prey. See, they call you people prey. They don't call you people subjects or human beings or people or characters. They call you prey.
Right, and unhumanize you. And it showed the mentality of who are these people we dealing with.
The key, developed under a previous Navy